Sharaputdin Magomedov is one of the most hyped UFC prospects coming into the UFC in quite some time, and he has a tough task set ahead of him at UFC 294, which takes place this weekend in Abu Dhabi. A lot of people look at Sharaputdin Magomedov and think this is the most inbred fighter that has ever stepped foot inside the UFC octagon, and well, you would be correct, but he's also a very skilled fighter to look out for. Shara Magomedov is fighting out of Moscow, Russia with a pro MMA record of 11 wins and 0 losses. He is 6 foot 2 inches tall, fighting out of the middleweight division, and he is 29 years of age, so he is just entering his prime. And I personally believe that his striking style will translate very well into the UFC. Upon seeing a photo of Sharaputdin Magomedov, many people ask about whether or not he is blind, and the answer is yes. He was able to see out of his right eye for most of his life and had multiple surgeries that would allow him to see partially out of it, but recently he lost full vision in his right eye. Although he lost sight in one of his eyes, it seems as though the UFC is going to allow him to compete within the organization. Sharaputdin is a very dangerous striker with a great highlight reel, but he's also a very smart fighter as well. He has a kickboxing style where he likes to keep his range with kicks to the legs, body, and the head. And he also has a very good clinch game, and he likes to throw knees to the body that are very powerful and knees to the head as well. He has also shown very good flashes of takedown defense and seems to be very athletic and improving at a rapid pace. The main reason why I believe in his striking style is because he is very defensively sound. He likes to circle the octagon while keeping range with his kicks, and he takes very little risk unless it is necessary. Something that is very interesting about his career is he holds a kickboxing decision win over Mike Mathetha, also known as Blood Diamond, who is one of Israel Adesanya's closest friends, and he was also a kickboxing champion. Blood Diamond might be a name that you recognize because he was recently in the UFC after a short stint and was recently cut as well. On the regional scene, Sharaputdin Magomedov has found a lot of success as well. He has 11 wins total with 0 losses, and 10 of those wins come by knockout. Coming up in his UFC debut, which takes place this Saturday at UFC 294, he takes on Bruno Silva, who is 34 years old and holds a professional MMA record of 23 wins and 9 losses. Bruno Silva is a very dangerous fighter. He has very heavy hands with a boxing style approach, and he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt as well. However, he doesn't get many submissions because he lacks in the wrestling department, so I believe that this fight will take place on the feet. Shara Magomedov has shown solid takedown defense on the regional scene, so I'm not very worried about the offensive wrestling coming out of Bruno Silva. In my opinion, Bruno Silva's best chance to win this matchup is by clipping Magomedov early, bringing the pressure to him, and finishing him by sub or KO early. But I don't believe this is going to happen because Shara Magomedov has shown in the regional scene against his best opponents, he started out a lot more cautious, went with a much more kick-heavy approach, made sure to stay out of range, and took very little risks. When it came to some of the worst opponents, he was a little bit more aggressive and pushed for the finish early. But if you look at, in my opinion, his 2 best opponents in the regional scene, Mikhail Ragozin and Sergey Martizov, he was a lot slower when he started out the fight, and I think he's going to take that approach against Bruno Silva, so he'll stay out of range, invest in the leg kicks, and when it comes to the later rounds, I think he'll find a lot of success and find the KO in the 3rd round. I do believe that this KO can come earlier, but I think he's going to view Bruno Silva as a threat, and he does not want to get his debut spoiled in Abu Dhabi, so he's going to want to slow down, secure the win, and kind of get aggressive a lot later. I could also see this going to decision. Overall, Sharaputdin Magomedov is dangerous throughout all 3 rounds, and he's a very good point fighter as well. I really like him in this matchup. I'm pretty confident in him, and I really hope he wins because he would be fun moving forward in the middleweight division. Does he have championship material? We'll see. We don't know enough about this guy, but I really do hope he has success in the UFC. As always, thank you for your time. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.